The 77th verse of the Tao Te Ching. Quote, "The way of heaven is like drawing a bow. The high is lowered, the low is raised. When it is surplus, it reduces. When it is deficient, it increases. The Tao of mankind is the opposite. It reduces the deficiency in order to add to the surplus. It strips the needy to serve those who have too much. Only the one who has the Tao offers his surplus to others. What man has more than enough and gives it to the world? Only the man of the Tao. The master can keep giving because there's no end to his wealth. He acts without expectation, succeeds without taking credit, and does not think that he is better than anyone else." Unquote. Living by offering the surplus. If you view the ways of heaven from a distance, you'll find that nature is perfect. The Tao is at work, invisibly keeping a divine balance. When I was in Sedona, Arizona, for instance, I took a tour of the forested areas in the steppes of the majestic Red Rock Mountains. After I lamented the recent fires that had decimated so many trees, the guide explained how this had actually been nature at work. For millions of years, he explained, when the forest gets too thick, nature's lightning strikes and thins out the forest. Without such an occurrence, the timber would choke on its own surplus. This is how our planet works. While at times natural events such as droughts, floods, hurricanes, windstorms, and excessive rainfall can seem disastrous, they're actually maintaining balance. This is also clear in the lives of butterflies, flocks of geese, or herds of caribou and buffalo. The sport of killing upsets nature's system of dealing with surpluses, and the Tao agrees. When it is surplus, it reduces. When it is deficient, it increases. Observe nature, says Lao Tzu. If deficiencies exist, don't continue to reduce what's already in short supply. The lessons in these final verses relate to governing the masses by staying harmonized with the Tao. Lao Tzu seems to rail against people in positions of political power who took from the needy to give themselves more of what they didn't need. In today's world, we can see evidence of this practice in a myriad of ways, but especially in lawmakers voting themselves benefits to be paid for by everyone else. They give themselves 95% retirement packages, medical insurance for life, limousines, private parking places on public lands, and free first-class travel, even as they strip the needy and serve those who have too much. And in countries where starvation is rampant, it's not unusual to see large amounts of food and supplies stacked on docks while people die from malnourishment because government representatives think they're above all of that. This 77th verse of the Tao Te Ching suggests thinking about the surpluses we can put back into circulation to decrease deficiencies that exist elsewhere in our world. Lao Tzu asks you and me both to put the wisdom of this verse to work in our personal lives by seeing what we have but don't need as an opportunity to be Tao people. Lao Tzu isn't asking our government, political leaders, or captains of industry, but us personally. Quote, "What man has more than enough and gives it to the world?" Unquote. The answer is only the man or woman of the Tao. When there are enough of us, there will be a pool from which we Tao-centered people emerge to govern. Then we'll put into place the way of living offered in this verse. It's fairly simple to understand a surplus of money or possessions, but the word actually symbolizes much more. For example, there's the surplus of joy you feel that you can offer to yourself and your family. Then there's the excess of intellectual prowess, talent, compassion, health, strength, and kindness you can share with the world. Whenever you see deficiencies in joy, abundance, educational opportunities, perfect health, or sobriety, make your own surpluses available. Lao Tzu urges you to look at what's deficient and be an instrument of increasing, rather than a collector of more, which marginalizes and divides the oneness that is all of life. Practice these new ways of being that are more aligned with the way of the Tao. First and foremost, reduce surplus. Reduce what's in excess in your life and then offer it where it can be utilized. Begin with your stuff, clothing, furniture, tools, equipment, radios, cameras, or anything that you have too much of. Don't sell it, rather give it away if you can afford to. Don't ask for recognition for charitable acts. Simply behave in harmony with the Tao by reducing your surplus. Then think about your intangible abundance of health, joy, kindness, love, or inner peace, and seek ways to offer those glorious feelings to those who could benefit from your bounty. And second, be an instrument of increasing. Just as nature fills voids by maintaining the cyclical balance necessary to our world, be an instrument of increasing where you observe deficiencies. Practice giving by dedicating a portion of your earnings to be used to ease deficits, for as Lao Tzu points out, The master can keep giving because there's no end to his wealth. If you can't offer money to those who are less fortunate, say a silent blessing for them. Offer a prayer when you hear an ambulance or police car siren. Look for opportunities to fill the empty spaces in other people's lives with money, things, or loving energy in the form of kindness, compassion, joy, and forgiving. Do the Tao now. Plan a day when you make a point of getting rid of some of your surplus, making sure that you part with something that's useful elsewhere. Look around for things you don't need or use. For instance, I just glanced up from my writing space and spotted some legal pads, 3 DVDs, and a toaster that I haven't used in 6 months. If you can scan the room right now where you are, I'm positive you'll see things that you could easily categorize as surplus. So schedule a time to put some of your excess into circulation. You can pick up those things in your line of vision at this moment and drop them off where they'll be welcome today. Be a man or a woman of the Tao.